to order. Sir, roll call, please.
Alderwoman Madison. Alderman Ward.
Here.
Vice Mayor Harrington.
Here.
Alderman Smith. Alderman Bowling.
Here.
Okay. The next thing on the agenda is a prayer of Vice Mayor Ray Harrington, and immediately following, pledge allegiance to the flag.
Let us pray. Lord, we come to you now for this meeting for the town of Bluff City. We ask that you can help bring this town together in this time, so that we can work together. We ask that all the decisions that we make unto the town are for the best of the town and the citizens that are herein. Thank you for everything you do for us each and every day. In your Son's holy name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Discussion and action. Dave Wilson, the engineer with Mattern and Craig.
Thank you, Mayor, members of the Board, Mayor and Alderman. I'd like to update you on our ongoing water and wastewater project here in town. We did receive pay request through the month of April today. That's not been reviewed yet, but it reflects about 75% complete on the project, about $1.4 million billed and stored to date. That work has been progressing. We're getting down to some of the final lines, and I know there have been concerns. We had been held up for a state permit for the work in the TDOT right-of-way, but that was received.
Oh, that's good.
Yes, it has been received as of yesterday, and the contractor has been notified, and will be prosecuting that work over the next pay period. So we do have, as you all know, we have talked about additions to the project. And one of the items in particular was looking at ways that we could, again, continue to attack the wastewater problem during rainflow events and the inflow and infiltration into the system. And 2 weeks ago tomorrow, a gentleman from Wascon visited, and we actually reviewed the garage pump station and did a drawdown test there to assess that pump's ongoing. It's what we need for maintenance of it now and what we can do in the future, and we are awaiting some information from Mr. Josh Cravens concerning those costs that we could anticipate and what measures we may be able to take to improve that station, and as we've talked about, redirect the force main away from the Igloo pump station. It turns out we were under the impression that it was about a 25 gallon per minute pump station, but it appears to be 55 gallons per minute with one pump running, and which means it will flow about 80 gallons per minute with two running. So during events where we may have peak flows adding in, imagine taking 80 gallons a minute away from the Igloo. I think that would really help assist and possibly prevent that problem from occurring, except once ever so often, hopefully. That is where we're at, and waiting to hear word from them. When we do receive that, then I'd like to present that in some type of letter for your all's official action, possibly in the project, and if we can, either redirect existing monies within the project for line work we're not going to do, or look at trying to find additional funding to do that force main redirect if his information comes back positive.
You know about what it costs to do that?
You know, I do not. I do know that, we had the force main that we had to install from the Igloo. That was a little over 1,000 feet. That was 110,000. I think this one would probably be only 300 or 400 feet. And if we can do what we want to do, but going on the railroad, and possibly 50 or 60,000 would be my guess at that length and under the railroad. We don't know if we have to have any pump changes. And again, as Mr. Moultrie was out with me, the gentleman will be presenting his information in we need to do some work to the existing station anyway, just regular cleanup type work and possibly rehabilitation of one or both pumps, installation of guide rails, and then we wanted to look at telemetry there also for our communication. So hopefully we'll receive it in a package, a laundry list of items, and then with that final item being, can we redirect the force main and what those estimated costs would be. Then I'd imagine we could solicit that from Thomas or go with another package at your all's desire.
Where were you going to redirect it to?
What we would like to do is just as we currently, it goes to the garage and then back down the hill in a gravity line. Worst case, we could send the force main all the way to the garage and then back down the hill ourselves and tie it in at Lakeview before it gets to the igloo, or elsewise up the access roadway to the pump station under the railroad embankment right across State Route 390, 44, and into the line there near River Bluff Landing that goes to Lakeview. That's right. So it would bypass the igloo.
Because there's 3 lines going into the igloo right now.
That's correct.
Have you ever had these the flow meters on these lines when a big storm comes up to see exactly where we're getting the more infiltration?
Yeah. We have metered in the past. We've not had any in the lines during any recent events. The last flow monitoring that we completed was around 2000, I would imagine. We did do some additional flow monitoring, I think, in 2007, but we have not. That is, if you all would desire, the meters are called ISCO, ISCO 4210s or 2610s, and those can be placed in the line. And then the biggest thing is to make sure that they're cleaned and calibrated properly, because you get the rainfall events and it'll gum them up and mess them up. So, making sure they're clean. Overall, what we found using those types of meters also is you can't hang your hat on the actual numbers of the flow, but you can look at the trends. So if I have, say, 2 meters in a line, one upstream and one downstream, I would anticipate the upstream one will not be flowing as great as the downstream. Then I can move that meter around, and at some point my flow goes up, and I know that my problem's in between those points, if that makes sense. You put one in as the base and you stagger the other one until you find where the flow increases. Similarly, almost if you were actually going out in the system during a rainfall event and popping manholes, I have this huge flow at this intersection, and I would go pop each successive manhole going up until I find where the flow drops off, and then I know my problem's there in between. Similarly with the monitors, you can do that. We actually have about 6 of those, but there are folks that rent those, and I'm thinking about $400 a month is what those usually cost to rent. If you buy them new, they're about $3,000 each, somewhere in that neighborhood, or it was when I did it before. Might be higher now.
And when you all did the smoke testing and the dye testing, you did find where there was some places where we were having some infiltration.
Yes, sir. We found quite a few, and I know since we last met and discussed this, we were able to have a very productive meeting with the Tennessee Department of Environment and Conservation. That was also just about 2 weeks ago, and we will be, once we have the information from the Wascon gentleman. I'd intended to do a summary report of that meeting, but we did inform those folks that we would be following up with smoke testing when our project is complete. It's best to do that work when it's dry and outside of, because when it is dry and the groundwater's down, you can find more issues. So I imagine August or September of this year we'll come and work with Mr. Moultrie to re-smoke test. Probably take about a week, and love for you to come out and watch it. Y'all have any other questions related to that, or the?
Anybody have any questions?
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
Thanks.
We're down to citizens' comments, the first session. Come to the podium, give your name, address, and phone number.
David Harmon, 200 Holston Drive. Is anybody ready this piece of trash? You ready? You ready? Are you proud of it? Are you proud to be a citizen of a city that would allow somebody running for office, and you know somebody running for office had to do it, to put something out there? You know what I say about people and ask me about you, Ray? Don't know that much about the guy. Really don't, do it. You know about you? You know what I say about you? The first time I saw him, he's sitting on the board. Same thing about you, the rest of you. If you're going to put something like this out, put your name on it. Be a man. Have some class. That's what Mr. Brewer said over at the election. He said, have class about yourself. Put your name on it. Have some courage. Be a man.
You know I'd put my name on it.
Absolutely. Probably would. Probably would. Don't know about the rest of you up there because I don't know you that well. I apologize.
I don't know anything about you.
You've never seen it? Here, you want to read it?
You have some.
Richard showed it to me.
Read it. Classless. The commode part is the worst part. Right here. Look at the front.
Yeah.
Gutless. Call people like that cowards, don't you? If you want to know where I was at and what I was doing, ask me. Ray, you'll tell them, won't you? You know. You want to keep that? I'll give it to you. You want it? You can have it. I have another copy.
No, here you go. No, I don't believe in doing stuff like that.
Someone did it. It's left up to maybe 4 people in this town. 4 people. Because you know what the 5 people here ain't doing. Sandy Madison didn't do it. That's her sister on there. Thank you very much.
Does anyone else have a comment?
Julie Van McCarty, 209 Smith Street, extension 538-7931. I just want to say, in a few days, we're going to have some new board members, and I'm hoping that they can all get along with the present board members. I mean, really try to get along. Just don't act and don't be rude. If you really, truly are running, you should be running because of the citizens, the town. You know, not who you can beat or for the title, but because you really care. And I know it's going to be hard, but if somebody that comes in that you don't like and they come up with a suggestion that sounds good for the city, I hope everybody's grown up enough to at least listen and talk to it. I mean, you might not like the person, but they might actually come up with a good idea. And I just hope everyone, the present board, whoever comes up, will please have an open mind and stop this. Children don't even act this bad sometimes. It's getting crazy. Thank you.
Okay, do we have anyone else?
Kathy Leonard, 316 McClellan Street, and I want to know when we're going to take care of the problem down on McClellan. People moved out of the old big house, but there's 3 piles of trash. Now, they've been gone over 2 months. And the rule in your ordinances I've read says you can give them 10 to 20 days to clean it up. And if they don't, then you can give them a $50 fine each day that it lays there. Now, I'm going to tell you, y'all laughed when I said we got rats last time, but now the rats you can see moving from the trailer over to all of the other property because there's no dogs over there to keep them scared off. So we've got a bad rat problem down there. You all may not think it's true, but come down there and see. Just come down there and watch. That's all I'm asking. Just come and look. What am I going to do when they get over on me? You all tell me, what am I to do?
You know who the people's name is and where they moved to?
No, but the lady that owns it is supposed to clean it up. What they left all this.
Her name?
Heather Gully or Smith, I'm not sure. They had the chief has her name and address and all. She had the people put out of the home. But now that it's vacant,
He's going to address it.
ma'am,
He's going to address
He's going to address it.
We did address it. They were issued a citation. That citation was dismissed because we have to cite the actual property owner. The property owner lives in South Carolina. We understand your concern. His concern has been addressed, but we've got to locate the actual property owner.
well, she's been bad.
That's what we're attempting to do. So it's certainly been addressed.
She's had 2 guys to come there within the 2 months and haul off 2 small pickup loads of metal stuff from those trash piles. But I'm telling you, the rats are making nests in the piles now. You can see it, and the weeds are up so high, you can actually see them running through the weeds. So I don't want them on me, is all I'm telling you. I want it taken care of. So what am I to do? If you all can't take care of it, who does take care of it?
Well,
Give me a solution.
we're working on it.
Okay.
Okay, do we have anyone else that wants to make a comment? Does anybody else have a comment? If no other comments, we'll move to discussion and action. Motion to approve special call meeting minutes of April 11th, 2019. Have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the April 11th minutes.
Do we have a second?
I second.
Take a vote, please.
Alderman Ward,
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harrington,
Yes.
Alderman Bowen.
Yes.
Okay. The next thing on the agenda is discussion and action, the Eastman Credit Union loan for 2 police cruisers. Sharon Green.
As you can see on the letter that I gave you, on April the 24th, we received a letter from the Office of State and Local Finance, and they had approved the Eastman Credit Union outlay note. Late on the evening of April the 26th, I received a phone call from Lori Bernard. She's our finance analysis at the comptroller's office. And she informed me that they had overlooked that the financer was a credit union and asked us not to sign papers until we received further information. So on May the 6th, and all the letters are in your packet there from the comptroller's office, stating that the reason Bluff City could not borrow money from a credit union, it came from a Attorney General Opinion 17-51, and it was December of 2017. Yeah, December 6, 2017. And it states that you cannot borrow from a credit union because you have to have money in there to be a member, and it's considered just like a corporation where you are a stockholder, and they are looking at it as if you are a stockholder of that company by being a member. They, in the opinion, they have not addressed that the amount that you have to put in, where we only have to put in $5 to be a member, but they hadn't addressed that. And they're going by this ruling. So therefore, we cannot get the money at the credit union. The mayor and I have already talked to People's Bank, and they've already gave us a quote. The interest rate for the 36 months, it's going to be a little higher. Of course, it was anyway. You know, credit unions can undercut all banks on interest rates. So it's going to cost us 5.5% on, that's about 1.3 points higher than we were going to be able to get it with the credit union. But they have already, they've got it ready. All we have to do is do the resolution and sign the papers for the borrowing the money from them. So there's really no problem. It's just we can't do it through a credit union at this point.
Because we don't have any money in the credit union?
No. It comes down from opinion, and the opinion's in there. It's like 9 pages long, but the opinion from the Attorney General that gave that opinion to the Comptroller's office in December of 2017. They, I guess, other places had that issue also, so they addressed it back then. And that was after we purchased the other ones that we have, that we financed with the credit union in 2016. So that was before they handed down this opinion.
1.3 is not very much.
How much money?
Well,
How
Seven-
much did you pay for it?
70,000.
How much?
70,000.
A piece?
No, together for both of them. But for 36 months. That's yeah. And that we do not have to get approval for the loan again. The comptroller's office said we're approved for the loan. It's just you can't do it with the credit union. You can do it with any other bank or
Where you become part owner and receive dividends. And
right.
all that.
You can't do it with.
So what do we need to do? Approve?
Well, you need to, I guess, make a motion that it's okay to deal with the credit union, or do we just need to wait till the resolution?
Okay.
We'll have the resolution ready. We hadn't had time because we just got all the information here on the 6th.
I'd
so.
assume we need to do that pretty quick since we've already got ownership of the car.
Yes. All we have to,
Here back here, did she say that you couldn't borrow the money from Eastman because of the fact that you're not a member?
No,
Or
it's-
because you're a city and you can't be a member?
Correct.
yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
I just
City
I didn't-
And it will require a brand new resolution.
Right.
Okay. Okay, then, we're going to move on down then to a report from the mayor. I do have a letter that I would like to read to you from the Tennessee. I have a letter that I would like to read to you from the Tennessee Comptroller of the Treasurer. Dear Mayor Wells, the town of Bluff City's financial distress water loss and vitality score case was heard at the March 14th, 2019 Water and Wastewater Financing Board. At this meeting, the board voted to release the town from its oversight. Thank you for your hard work to make the town more successful. If you need further information, assistance, please give us a call. Before the Tennessee Water and Wastewater Financing Board in the matter of town of Bluff City. On March the 14th, 2019, the Tennessee Water and Wastewater Financing Board reviewed the status of the city of Bluff City. The city, which was referred to the board for financial distress and water loss pursuant to Tennessee Code Annotate 68-221-1010A and D. Board staff indicated that the city has complied with the board directives and shown progress. Staff then recommended the city for release from the board oversight for both water loss and financial distress. Based on the staff's statement and recommendation, the board hereby orders the city is officially released from the board's oversight for water loss and financial distress. Staff and council shall close the case. I hereby certify that a copy of the foregoing has been served via certified mail. Return receipt requested to the following. On the 5th day of April 2019. I would like to bring up something else too, because we can't seem to get anything right about the water and the order that we was under. So I'm going to read it to you. Some people have us up to 68%, and some have even higher. But before the Tennessee Water and Wastewater Financing Board in the matter of TCA 68-221-1010, financial distress, City of Bluff City Water and Sewer. Pertinent to TCA 68-221-1010, the Tennessee Water and Wastewater Financing Board reviewed on March 10, 2016, the financially distressed status of the City of Bluff City. the city water and sewer system. In order to correct these deficiencies, the WWFB directs the city to comply with the following corrective action plan. The city will increase its rates by 9% by July 1, 2016. The city will increase its rate by 9% by July the 1st, 2017. The city will increase its rate by 5% by July 1, 2018. The city shall comply with all these provisions of resolution number 2016-002, and the city shall update the WWFB staff on its progress quarterly until formally released. And I'm going to read this letter also to you, and it's dated October the 27th, 2016. And I hope that this will help people to understand things better instead of putting incorrect information out there to the citizens. As you know, the Water and Wastewater Financing Board entered the attached order on March the 21st, 16, pursuant to Tennessee Code Annotate. The order is a legally enforceable mandate of the WWFB. It requires Bluff City to adopt and maintain the rate structures outlined in it. This graduated rate increase will provide adequate funding for the system's operation, maintenance, debt, and service payments. If the Bluff City fails to adopt the rate structure outlined in the order, I will advise the WWFB to petition Davis County Chancery Court to require Bluff City to fully comply with the order, including adoption of the rate structure, and to obtain any other remedial action which, in the discretion of the court, may be required to cause the system to be operated in a financially self-sufficient manner. Now, I've read the percentages of increase, so I hope everybody understands this. And if you need a copy of this information, I'll be happy to give you a copy. But
one thing you need to state in there, though, how well we worked for the citizens. They wanted us to do 15%, 15%,
Yes.
15%. And yourself and David Wilson went down to Nashville, and that's when you all got them to do 9, 9, and 5 instead of 15, 15, 50.
that's correct.
So we are trying to work for the citizens.
2014.
We went up 15 on that percent.
2014, 2015, 2016, it was 15, 15, 15.
That's not what happened. We went to Nashville. But thank you. So we'll give you some information if you can't understand it.
2014, 008.
Well, I can tell you what happened, and I just read the information to you. And like I said, I'll be happy to give you a copy of it. It came from the state. Well, your information is not correct. Okay, thank you. We're continuing on. Okay, Mr. Fry, do you have a report?
No, I don't have reports.
Okay. Discussion and action financial report. Sharon Green.
Fund balances as of March 2019. General fund, $1,461,571. Sanitation fund, $23,175. Special police fund, $13,154. The debt service fund, $146,207. Sinking fund, $3,095. Water sewer fund, $599,653. We have a total fund balance of $2,246,855.
Okay. Do you have any questions? We have a motion to approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the financial report as read.
I second.
Take a vote, please.
Alderman Ward.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harrington.
Yes.
Alderman Bowling.
Yes.
Okay. Comments from board members. Alderwoman Sandra Mattis is not present. Alderman Eric Ford, please.
Thanks for everybody coming out, and hopefully I'll get to see you here next month.
Hey, we hope so. Okay, Vice Mayor Rick Harrington.
Appreciate everybody coming out. We are trying to do everything we can, and like David Wilson was here, we're trying to get that sewer mess, or whatever you want to call it, fixed and try to. And even for Bristol and stuff, we're sending them more sewer and stuff, so there is a larger inflow to it. But at the same time, if you send too much to Bristol, that can cause them to have an overflow, and they can tell us not to send them anymore and be done with it. And then we would be in a four-letter word mess. But we're doing what we can, and we're doing everything that we can that legally can do by the state and stuff. Because, I mean, you can say one thing, go out there and tell everybody what you're going to do, but till you get up here on this board, you can't do it. You'll find out you can't do it. But I appreciate everybody coming out and look forward to the outcome of the election. I went and voted today. I hope everybody else does. No matter who you vote for, go out and vote. Thank you.
Okay. Alderman David Smith is not present. Alderman Richard Bowling.
Yeah, I just appreciate everybody coming out too, and I appreciate the crowd. We got a little bit more here than we had last month, and I wish the place was packed so the citizens will really know what's going on and things that needs to be done. We just can't do them overnight. It takes time. So we appreciate you being with us and giving us time to do these things. Thank you.
Chief of Police Greg Depew.
Mayor, Board. A lot of people have concerns and complaints and issues of property, and I understand. And everybody who's complained has a legit complaint. I've went to it. I've looked at it. I've seen it. The process of how that works is we get a complaint, we go to it. The mayor gets a complaint. We meet daily. We discuss it. We get a plan. We go into action. We go to the property. Once we go, we kindly give someone a notice, a warning. We explain to them the ordinance, usually give them a copy of it, explain to them what needs to be done. And we tell them we'll be back. We create a file, we date it, we document it with a report. On the 10th day, we return back. On that 10th day, if it's not satisfied, we respectfully tell them under the circumstances we have to issue a citation. Then that's all we can do is issue a citation. We can't clean the property up or arrest them or seize their property. So we do what we're allowed to do. Then they have 30 days that we don't bother them, which we don't want to harass them. They've been issued a citation. A court date set, they appear in court. Most oftentimes, if it's not dismissed or they pay it, they're given an extended 30 days. And correct me anytime if I'm wrong. During that time, we don't harass them or bother them. It's still a problem. Some people do nothing, and I feel the reason some people do nothing is there's really no bite to the bark. It's hard on us. It's hard on the mayor because we feel the pain from people, you guys. It's a beautiful town. There's lots of properties that things need to be done, and I agree with you. And believe me, there's some of them to the point if I could make an arrest, I probably would, but I can't. So what I ask is there some way we can look into making a little stiffer something? I know other cities, they will condemn properties. Bristol does. Other city does. I'm not for seizing people's homes. I'm not for that. But I'm asking what can we do to make a little stiffer penalty to enforce this better, because the police department, the town manager, mayor, we are doing everything we possibly can to address it, and it's like when it gets in here, it goes nowhere. And I think people see why they don't is they really don't think they have to.
Can we not hire somebody to go clean this up and then put a lien against the property?
There are, we do have ordinances that would allow us to do that.
If they don't comply within so many days?
Yeah, I've not looked at the ordinance, but we do have one that will allow the city to clean it up. And when you do that, you need to budget some money for that.
Right, I understand.
Yeah.
But these people that get up here, they have really, really concerns and real issues. I feel for them on some of them. And like I said, I know myself,
the police department, I know the mayor, we discuss, do we not discuss this probably daily? We understand and we're trying, but we write tickets, and that's to the point of what we can do. We can't do anymore. Once it gets in here, we've got to enforce things a little bit tougher in a courtroom, I feel, by coming up with some solution, if it is budgeting more money. So at least we could hold them responsible for an end, because I think we all see some people just absolutely refuse, no matter how many citations we write, how much paper, how much ink, how much time is wasted, they're not going to comply. And really, there's not a lot at that point we can do. So I'm asking if we could come together and try to find a solution to enforce it a little bit better. And
It'd be best to go as far as condemn it, but let them go to court the first time.
yeah,
So they do the 30 days.
I don't want to see people lose their property or property condemned, but I do understand when people care about their property. When there's so many pretty houses through here, this is a wonderful community, a beautiful community. I do feel and sympathize with the people who care about their property, and I'm asking, help me, give me a little bit more something when I walk in this courtroom, and I'm going to start inviting the and I call them victims that have to live beside of it, to come into this courtroom and witness what goes on and be here. I'm going to start inviting them here to where they see everything that goes on, because I want everybody to know we're doing everything we can, but that's the point of what we can do. The property beside her is disgraceful. There's other properties here I won't give the street addresses or names, but are disgraceful.
I invite you to drive down.
So, but like I said, I know the mayor and myself, we deal with this daily. And believe me, we address it immediately. And we do everything we possibly can. So, but that's all I have to say. Do you have any questions?
What if you cite this person to court, they don't show up? What happens?
Well, I guess he'll found a failure to appear. And that's what do we do with their property?
There's an ordinance in there that says condemn. You can condemn the property. I've read your ordinance.
Yeah, it's
in your ordinance already.
Keep in mind, once you condemn that property, the city is liable for that property. We already short on money.
Right.
So don't be too quick to condemn it.
If you appropriate the money, if the city appropriates the money, would they not be able to collect that money back? Clean up the infield?
Well, maybe you can or you can't, depending on what the value of the property is.
Well, and it's like this too. A lot of people pay attention, and we see one get away with it, the other follows. When they see one pay for it, the other ones will follow too. That's the way things usually work. We all know that. When you put your foot down with one, the others take notice. And when you're doing nothing's happening, you're wasting paper and ink and time, nothing happens. So, it's just something we probably, and the mayor and I both agree, it's just got to be addressed at some point. Whether it's
not but about $25 on that anyway.
When's the last one been paid? Who's paid one? Who's paid a fine for dirty property? No, he ain't paid it.
Oh, that's right, he didn't pay it.
Listen, the trailer down there next to the big White House is a breeding field for the rats, and it's been there 30 years or better. And go past it. It's the tins coming off the roof. The porch is down to rot. It's been there I've owned that property 30 years, and that trailer was sitting there when I bought the land that I built on. So they've got away with letting that breeding house. You can see the rats coming from underneath that trailer going over to now into the other property.
30 years ago, there was people living in that.
After the husband died, they sold it, or they didn't sell it. They bought the little house next door.
Okay, wait a minute. Let's let everybody have a chance to talk, but not at the same time. So after the chief finishes.
Okay, well, I may have opened up something, but I think it's just come
at the
to a
end.
point where we needed to address it. Because
Yes.
like I said, we're really getting a
We
lot
do.
of, and I just want people to know we're doing everything we can.
Can Paul Fry look into possibly seeing what Bristol does in the situation?
They condemn them.
To see what time frame they give them and all this stuff. You know what I
If
mean?
we do that, I think what we've done is adopted every ordinance we could adopt.
Right.
I think
Right.
Is there state law on condemning a property?
yeah, that's the law we've got.
Yep.
Okay.
So what would be your next step what's our next step with
Well,
this?
an ordinance has got to be, any ordinance we have has to be strictly followed on the charging, the prosecution, and so forth. So,
Due process.
Okay.
and that's
Okay, well, that's all I have on that. I just wanted everybody to get on the same page with it, and know where we're standing, what we're doing, because, I certainly don't want people to think we're not doing all we can, and we certainly are. So, but for the month of April, we had 195 calls. We had 69 citations, 112 warnings, patrolled 4,594 miles, had 16 arrests, 10 offense reports, 3 alarms, 6 accidents, 47 MSD reports, had 7 domestic calls, and we had 8 drug arrests. Our drug arrests are up. That's another issue we get lots of complaints on. To let people know we are doing things some people don't even know. Myself and the mayor, we actually even, which she was invited to, we had a meeting with one of the DTF agents this week that come over, spend a little time in my office with us. We shared some concerns and look at possible things of working together, helping each other, because we realize drugs is a problem. It's a growing problem. It's a fire that you just can't put out. You just fight it, but we'll continue to fight it. So we had 8 drug arrests for this month, which is good for a small department. We're looking at certain other areas here in town we're dealing with. So we're working hard. Cruisers are great. Everything's going good. Everybody's happy and working hard.
I just noticed city miles are down in the city versus Piney significantly.
Yeah.
Just curious.
Yeah, it could be a lot of times too. Sometimes in the city they'll set a little bit more in local areas and not on the highways. They travel a little bit more. But yeah, I noticed that too. But that's some of that. They'll set stationary in some places a little bit more in the city. And also, too, that's a good question. So, look, we consider our zones for our city and county. Everything 19E and beyond is considered Piney. Right. So the 19E area, all down the flea market, all of that's pretty much a good travel area. And here, it's just kind of more so. But
the police department is actually doing an excellent job. We've had officers out sick, and we've got another officer that really we have 2 officers that are having problems right now, but the police department is managing to control everything. So I am thankful for that, and the drugs, it's going really good.
Yeah. But that's all I have. Thank you, guys and citizens.
Thank you.
Someone told me that there's not a police officer on duty in Bluff City after 12 o'clock tonight. Is that true?
That is not true.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Good answer.
Okay, let's continue on. Public Works Supervisor Alan Moultrie.
Good evening, Mayor, Board. How are you all doing? Street Department. In the Street Department, the staff has been working hard trying to keep up with the mowing and brush pickup throughout town. We have been replacing boards at the pavilion along with getting the roof of the pavilion repainted. When it comes down to the brush, I'm going to revisit a area that we kind of touched on back in the past. It's regarding our brush collection throughout town. Number 1, each residential customer shall get 1 free brush pickup per month without charge. No grass clippings will be picked up. Number 2, the size of, that's number 3. The size of the brush shall be no larger than 2 inches in diameter. Number 4, all brush shall be deposited to the curbside by resident customers for pickup by the town and shall not be placed in any part of the street. Number 5, after the residential customer have been credited with 1 free brush pickup, each additional load shall be picked up at the rate of $7.50 per load. All right, the reason why I'm revisiting this is because just today went out to go pick up some brush, and we had a customer basically had a whole tree root, everything still intact. And we don't pick that type of stuff up along with grass clippings. We don't pick grass clippings up. And we'll have some that'll cut up, in which that is a good thing. But with our chipper, we can't I mean, it's a certain diameter that we can get into that chipper, so it kind of jams things up. And just to kind of correct anybody who believe that we're charging $7.50 per load, that's not correct. We haven't even charged anyone throughout the town since we mandated that. We haven't charged anybody for any loads like that. When it comes down to the $7.50, that's in regards to, like, let's say for instance, you got a very large brush pile that's going to have the workers tied up for, let's say, for instance, 3+ hours. I mean, that's a lot of time just at this one location, and we just can't do that. And that's why we're trying to kind of get things somewhat situated to whereas we can kind of control what goes on. That's just like mandating a certain date that we're going to come out and pick up brush. We'll have brush piles out on Monday, and we really can't pick up brush every single day. We only have a staff of 7 people. So, I mean, it kind of gets a little testy whenever it's time to pick up brush piles, because as soon as they put them out, they're expecting us to get it that day right then and there, and we just don't have enough time in the day to get that process done. So that's why we try to do it later on in the week on Wednesday and Thursdays. We'll try to pick up brush, and we've been trying to keep everything kind of caught up, and we've been doing as such. And I want to thank everybody who participated in the tire pickup with the TVs and all of that. It wasn't fun, but we got it done, and I do appreciate you all. You all got everything out in a timely fashion, so I do thank you all for that. All right, I'm going to move along to the sewer department. In the sewer department, in the month of April, we had one overflow that occurred April 19th of 2019. That was reported to the state. This event was a wet weather event, which we ended up dispatching Captain Septic and Steven Septic to haul our loads to Beaver Creek to the Bristol pump station there. As in our current status of our pump station, all pump stations are operating in a satisfactory manner, and also we have the staff out. They are doing sewer line flushings, and also in certain areas we got them video camera in lines to see if we got any, for potential of root intrusion. But that's pretty much what we got going on in that sector. If anybody else got any questions regarding that or concerns, I'm open.
You and your crew's done a good job, Al.
We trying. I mean, it's things gonna get a little tougher because as the heat starts to get up there, workers' fatigue is gonna start to set in. But I think we'll be able to maintain. And like I said, I just thank you all for the effort that you all put in to try to get things accomplished. And we're right behind you. You put the work in our hands, and we'll get it. Huh? Oh yeah, I'll do the water. And as in the water department. All right. The water plant is operating normally, pumping out an average of 184,000 gallons per day. Our water tank level was at an average in the month of April of 46.1 feet, with 60 feet being full. In the month of April, the water tank level was completely full twice in the month, so we ended up having to turn our water plant off twice. So just to give you some indication of our status, we are currently at the point where we're actually able to build and overflow our tank right now, but of course, we don't want to waste water, but we are at the point where so basically what that's saying is our distribution system has improved a lot. So less water leaks, yes, sir. All right, and in the distribution system, we are continue to repair leaks in our distribution system. Most of our finding remains to be those coming from old galvanized lines, galvanized service lines. As we continue to find these, we are trying to replace as much as we can in-house. We have finally completed a new 2-inch line, and this was a full restoration of a new water line that was placed in Fox Trailer Park. Fox Trailer Park is one of the areas where we had old galvanized lines. Most of our parts that we get in on during the budget time, you can find those in Fox Trailer Park, but now those lines has been replaced with 2-inch PVC lines. And the only thing that's left now, we just recently took our back T sample. Back T sample came back. We passed on that, so we're actually at the point where we're ready to hook on all the laterals and release this new water to these homeowners. So that's also going in a good position. And as into is it Applewood Apartments, we will be coming to pave that driveway soon as we get that stuff situated. So there's been a lot going on in town. A lot of improvements are being made. We still got a long ways to go. I just hope we all can band together just like how we are now and just keep everything going. I wish the best of luck to anybody that's running, and just hope to see you next month. I'll be sitting right there. If anything else,
y'all did a good job. Y'all doing a good job.
I hope so.
Quick question.
Yes, sir.
You guys do a great job, hands down. We're always tickled with it and proud to be associated with y'all. But one quick question.
Can we wait till we get to the citizen comments? Okay, go ahead.
The $7.50 charge for brush pickup. I know you're a good guy. Why are you giving that away? Is that up to you to decide if that gets charged or not?
No, for the most part, we've actually been having issues with, let's say, for instance, a homeowner ends up hiring an outside entity to cut their brush down. They'll cut it down. It should be their responsibility to dispose of that brush, in which that hasn't been the case. We've actually been left with that load. So we're basically trying to separate those who contract work out from homeowners that's actually pulling out their brush. And it isn't a fact of the size of the brush piles or anything like that. It's just you only got a certain few customers who actually take advantage of the brush pickup. Everybody doesn't use it. And, well, that would be great. Yeah. But yeah, that's been the biggest issue. But overall, just to set the record straight, we haven't charged a soul a dime since this was brought up a couple months ago. So for anybody that's been going around telling folks, we got people afraid to put out brush because they think they're going to get charged for it, and that's not the truth.
That second vehicle has been on there for years.
Yes.
1997.
Yes, sir. So,
I know it's not a lot, but that's
it's not a lot. Every little bit helps. But I think we're headed in the right direction. I think we're finally starting to band together, and soon as this election's over, we should be all right. Once again, I do thank you all for your time. I don't want to hold you all up too long. I'm not too long-winded. I hate doing these types of things.
That's true.
I'll kind of end things on this note. Once again, I want to tell everybody good luck if you're running, and I'll hope to see you the following meeting. If there's any other questions, I'm trying.
Thank you.
We're down to old business. Does anybody have any old business? Do we have any new business?
On the old business, did we, I don't know if you addressed this last time. Did we get the cash boxes for the girls?
Yes.
How's that working?
It's working very good.
It's working good.
Each person is responsible. Yeah. So it's working good. They wasn't too happy about it, but it's working good. Okay. The only thing, of course, Alan mentioned to you about the pavilion, there's quite a bit of more work from last year. We did a lot of work last year replacing those planks, and also it's going to have to be the roof on top, the end roof is going to have to be sand and repainted and everything because it's rusted. And then they will be, after they finish putting down all the new planks, then they will be, we already have enough stain to use to put on those, and then we'll be painting all the tables, the concrete tables, and so we've got some wood tables, so we'll be painting those also. So those are the things that we're looking forward to doing. Don't let what?
Just don't let the brush take you away from it.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Okay. Well, also, we have to replace the lights at the pavilion. We've got about, let's see, we've got 19 on the inside. Is it 18?
18 lights that are out at the pavilion currently, and we are hoping to be able to replace those with new LED lights.
That's what I was getting ready to ask.
Yeah.
I don't want to speak too soon. I just want to hope it happens. But, yeah, that's what we're looking for.
And I have longevity too.
Yeah, I mean, right now, the lights that we have up there, they're just your standard light bulbs from, I don't know what year. Lifeline on those aren't very long versus LEDs. They'll last you a couple years. And also along with that, new globes may be placed on all of these lights. We got a few lights that don't have the glow bulb over them. And basically, whenever it's time to replace a bulb, those globes that were missing, your light fixture is basically rusted, and pretty much when you try to turn your light bulb, everything kind of tears apart. So there's a lot of work that needs to be done at the pavilion. Let's just hope we can get it done.
We also have 15 other lights on this side that we're replacing.
Why is the lights coming on over there over the booth on every night now? Every night about 10 o'clock, them lights come on and stay on all night long. Why is that?
They weren't coming on.
They're coming on now. They come on last night. They did it the night before last.
All right, now we may hit a switch. So they
Yeah.
probably was supposed to be on all the time.
City Ghost.
City Ghost.
City Ghost,
Okay, we're down to the last section of citizens' comments. If any of you have any other comments, come to the podium and give your name, address.
I want to say just one thing. I've lived over here about 9 months now, and I know about 3 people in the city from the old days. But the word's got out on me that I'm a troublemaker, making trouble for those people down in there. And I'm telling you, I'm not a troublemaker. I'm a private person. If they'd just clean up their messes through there, I'd never open my mouth and say nothing. And if it wasn't causing me distress and problems, I'm just afraid the rats is going to invade me. If it wasn't for the big dog I've got now, I've got it, and he's completely fenced in the backyard. I'm sure that's what keeps them off of me, because the weeds over there and then the weeds beside me, I'm surrounded with weeds and rats. And I'm just saying, you don't know me, these people don't know me, but the word's got out now, I'm a troublemaker. And if that's what you call it, just to protect your property, I guess I am. I'm just.
That new house, they can look out and see a mess like that.
That's exactly right. And it faces me when I look at front door, side door, it doesn't matter. It's all around.
I understand that. I tried to buy that lot off of you when I first moved over here.
Okay. Well, you know how long I've had it then, and I love that place. And I'm going to be there till I die. If I am a troublemaker, they'll have to haul me out.
I tried to buy it off of you back in 99 when I first moved over here to Elizabeth.
Yeah, so you know how long I've had the property, and I take pride in keeping it clean. I'm a clean person. If you don't want to live beside me and not be clean, then I can't help that. You know, I'm going to be clean, and I don't want their mess coming over on me. That's just clear. That's the way I am. Thank you all.
Thank you. Does anybody else have a comment?
Becky Buchanan, 750 Drive Ranch Road, Bluff City, 276-1165. I want to thank Alan and all the city workers for keeping the boardwalk clean down there. I went to a funeral down there a couple of weeks ago. That's where the man requested to have his funeral. And the people was really pleased and tickled that it was cleaned up. And Alan, I just want to thank you and the city workers for that. And Mr. Harmon started the meeting out with this. This is one way that the residents of Bluff City knows the truth. This is all public knowledge. All anybody has to do is just go on a computer and they can pull all of this up. And whoever sent this out, and I'm not inside the city, I would just like to thank them for sending out the truth so the people can read it. Thank you.
Okay, do we have anybody else?
I'd like to know how they come up with the dollar amounts on them two lawsuits, because I didn't even know them.
Do what?
I said, I'd like to know how they come up with them $2 amounts on the lawsuit, the 40,000 to 30,000, because I didn't even know them.
It's
But I'm on board.
Hey, it's public knowledge. Everything on here is the truth because it's public knowledge, and the people need to know the truth about who is running, who is going to be up on that board making decisions for Bluff City.
That is not the truth, because a background check had to be run on that. Not public knowledge.
Yes, it is.
No, ma'am.
Well, we're not going to, we have one person at a time. Okay. Okay, does anybody else have a comment?
Brian Hunt, what is it, 191? Yeah, 191 Lakeview Drive. Sharon, I've known you for a lot of years, and I'm going to ask you straight up. Is the town broke?
Is the what?
Are we broke? Is the city broke?
No way.
We're not broke.
$2 million?
That's what I thought, $2 million.
But that don't mean we can use it.
I know that. I know that. Guys, we got problems in this city. But they're little bitty problems. Just like in my business. If I don't take care of the little problems when they come up, then I got a whole great big mountain of problems. I know y'all's job ain't easy. I know y'all ain't getting reimbursed anything. I don't think. Whoever is on this board after this election, I'm not happy about the mail out. I try to run a household that sets better examples than that. Whether it's the truth, public knowledge, or what. I don't raise my kids to act that way. That's high school. If there's problems, take the time to fix the problems when they arise. Work together. Everybody may not have the same opinion, but you take 3 different opinions, put them together, you're going to come out with a pretty good resolution. Too much bickering back and forth. It's not setting a good tone. It's really not. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody else have a comment? If not, can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I'll second.
Take a vote.
Alderman Ward.
Yes.
Vice Mayor Harrington.
Yes.
Alderman Bowley.